Good morning. Today's breakfast is brought to you by Swiss Chocolate Monster. So, anyways, this, in my opinion, is a very important video. This actually from Project Veritas, by the way. I'm going to have links in the description for everything. I recommend watching the whole video all the way through, and then I'm going to have some commentary at the end. But Project Veritas basically was listening to CNN, Mark Zucker, who is their CEO, for 2 months. They actually have morning calls to tell viewers like you what they want you to hear on the news. And when you watch this, you may not understand everything exactly, but it's pretty shocking. I would say if you watch the news or don't listen to the news, watch this and basically share this with any friends and family wherever you can, because they silence the truth. And then I'm going to have links for everything so you can click there, listen to some of the calls if you want to. But this is basically proof that mainstream media is lying to you. They tell you what they want you to hear. So watch the video.
You're unmuted.
Hey, Jeff Zucker, you there? Hey,
Yes.
This is James O'Keefe. We've been listening to your CNN calls for basically 2 months, recording everything. Just wanted to ask you some questions if you have a minute. Do you still feel you're the most trusted name in news? Because I have to say, from what I've been hearing on these phone calls, I don't know about that. I mean, we got a lot of recordings that indicate you're not really that independent of a journalist.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. So everybody, in light of that, I think what we'll do is we'll set up a new system, and we'll be back with you. We'll do the rest of the call a little bit later.
We're going to release those recordings today at 7 o'clock, so stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
So you just heard me talk to the president of CNN, Jeff Zucker, and inform him that that we are going to release a number of recordings today. I unmuted myself into the conference line, and they're still on there. They're listening to me right now. This is being live streamed for those of you still on the call. And we've recorded for a while, and we have clips of various producers talking, the president talking, describing their motives, describing their political philosophy, describing how they don't cover certain things, and certain political parties tell them to cover things a certain way. Lots of little clips that takes us into the minds and hearts of our people, powers that be, that inform us, because government is downstream from media. So we're going to be releasing these tapes thanks to one of our sources. One of our brave insiders has given us this information. And as you can see, they're still milling about on the call. They're listening to me right now. They have to, quote, change their system and get a different dial-in, I guess, now, because we've compromised the dial-in. Project
Well, I guess
Veritas.
we need to change the channel, huh? Change the number, huh?
Is that Zucker there?
Star 6 again.
You're unmuted.
Hey, Jeff, you still there?
Yeah.
They're still on there. Yeah,
You're
so
muted.
we don't want to change the channel, really. We want to stay on the channel. We think it's important for the American people to know how you make the sausage, right? How you, to quote Noam Chomsky, manufacture consent. Consent should not be manufactured. It should be informed. People should be an informed populace to make informed decisions. So there you have it, folks. Live streaming the CNN 9 a.m. conference call. It was abruptly ended when James
Thanks
O'Keefe.
for using the AT&T
Here it is.
teleconferencing service.
AT&T, isn't that the company that Zucker is being fired from? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they abruptly ended the conference call when I dialed in, and unfortunately for them, we've been recording for a while. So what else can I say? There's not much else to say.
Get ready.
I think my message to you, for those watching the live stream, is get ready, because tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to start releasing these little tapes, little clips, little audio bits of Zucker, the president. Who else? David Chalian, Vice President.
Stephanie Becker.
What's the name? Marcus Mabry. Who's the other man that made the comments about that we recorded about white supremacy?
That was Mez Mabry.
Marcus Mabry
Yeah.
made some comments, and you know, we'll be airing those for all to hear and see. And it's important that we hold accountable the mainstream media. The media has to be held to account. They are hurting the American people with their lies, their innuendo, their slander, their defamation, their hyperbole. And I think Mr. Zucker is shaking in his boots right now. I think he's very afraid of what might be coming. So I don't really know what else to say, guys. I mean, content is king. And we were trying to live stream the beginning of the call, but we didn't know when Zucker was going to come in and interject and ask the question. So we just sort of got there. We sort of got in just in the nick of time. What else?
More insiders.
Yeah, more insiders.
More insiders. Thank you to the brave insider who supplied us the information for the call. VeritasTips@protonmail.com. Stay tuned. What's the hashtag?
CNN tapes.
Stay tuned. Hashtag CNN tapes. Released today. Multiple installments every day, each day this week. It's going to be great. This is going to be a great thing. It's going to be a great thing for our republic and for our democracy to have the media being held accountable. You need to hold the media to account. Stay tuned. Hashtag CNN tapes tonight, 7 o'clock.
So what do you think? You saw the video. You can clearly see James O'Keefe has asked Mark Zucker why they're lying to people about the news. And if you watch the videos and listen to the calls, I should say, because they are recorded calls, you're going to see that they have done a lot of terrible things. Like when Biden's laptop news came out, if you looked at other news sources that are not mainstream media, they actually were telling you about it and the investigation, what's potentially on there. CNN and other trusted news sources, which they're called by YouTube, Facebook, they all told you that that was a lie from the right-wing conservatives, and it's 100% truth. That's the sad part. And they actually, if you watch the recordings and you listen to them, you're going to see that they're telling people to focus on saying stuff about Trump that's not necessarily true, or half-truths, and they're just saying, keep talking about that. The sad part about this whole thing is I went to a gym, well, I've gone to a couple gyms, and in the morning they had a lot of channels like CNN on and mainstream media news, and I'm like, half of the news they're talking how bad Trump is. They're not really telling the news. This is like brainwashing. And I mean, if you're watching the news and whatever channel you're watching, and it seems like they're not really telling you news, all they're trying to tell you is somebody's bad, you should, maybe something should click. Maybe you should say, hey, these people have an agenda. It's like a toxic relationship. Like, let's just say you're in a relationship and you're happy or whatever, and then you have this quote-unquote friend, and every time you see them, they tell you bad things about a person. Instead of doing something else which might be constructive, they just try to focus on telling you, stay away from them, you know, blah, blah, blah this, blah, blah, blah that. You should somehow maybe start to think, why is this person constantly feeding me this information when I'm not sure if it's true, or, you know, I don't even really care. And that's what the news does. It's sad. But check those videos out. And places like CNN are not trusted news sources. That's all the mainstream media is. They're actually mostly owned by the same group of people, and they all have a narrative and a mission. They don't want Trump to change tax laws. They do not want Trump to do the things that he has done. He's brought businesses back to America, and Trump's actually done a lot to get rid of trafficking and pedophilia and a lot of things. There's a lot of things Trump's done in the past that they don't like, and that's what they're fighting against. So, anyways, it's Pete with the Small Business Resource Center. Share this video, it's important. Smash the like button for the algorithm. Have a great day. Subscribe if you're new.